de una forma. Entonces, pero quiero como que tú, o sea, que tú sabes, tú estás en un trabajo, tú estás acostumbrado. You know what? Yeah, I guess we'll talk in the
Okay.
screen. Yeah.
Good morning, my friends. It's a beautiful day. I'm excited today. I had a great night of sleep.
Pero quiero como que tú, o sea, que tú sabes, tú
Oh,
estás
I can hear myself.
acostumbrado. You know what? Yeah, I guess we'll talk.
Okay, hold on a second for here. I got in the background. So let me start again. I was playing the video in the background so I can share it. Juan, good morning, my friend. It's a beautiful day. I'm excited to have you here today. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Just staying busy.
Staying busy. You
Staying
know,
busy.
you recently we've been doing videos for about 3 weeks now.
Yeah, this is
And
our third one.
you for the last 3 weeks you've been saying time management. That's a good topic. That's a good topic. And I think time management is in your mind because you are jumping to the full-time freelancing and you're finding yourself that you have too much to do, or you don't have enough time to do the things that you want to do. uh, what is your take? What can you tell me?
Well, so pretty much, so give you a background to everyone out there is, first of all, I've been doing pretty much the same thing over and over for the last 5 years, and you
when you
know,
when you mean same thing, what do you mean with that?
oh, same job.
As a graphic
Wait,
designer?
yeah, web designer, same job. Get up at same time, drive the same road, enter the same office, and pretty much do the same thing for 5 years. And I have my side hustles and I have some side gigs, but that was always like whenever I had time.
Got it.
So now that I'm in the house, kind of the roles have changed a little bit, like in terms of, even like my wife was a stay-home mom, and now it's like she's like, oh, I'm gonna go work, and now she's doing what she wants to do, and I'm here. So I kind of thought that I will be moving to another job, but things have worked out itself, and now I'm kind of like here. So I got this is the thing, man. It's not like I'm home and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like unemployed. I got nothing to do. It's not like that, It's actually like the opposite. Like I got so many things to do, and the money is covered, which is good. But the bigger problem is that I know I gotta switch. I gotta make a switch from just going to a job, being told what to do, when to do it, to staying home and actually working in what I need to work to bring more money. So prioritizing, it's a big problem for me.
So prioritizing. Why you think prioritizing is a big problem? Why you think that?
Oh man, because I got too many things to do and I don't know which one to do first.
So I'm taking notes here. So let me ask you. You have a lot of things to do, and you don't know where to start. How are you keeping track of, or do you have a list of things that you have to do?
I do have a list of okay, so I do have a list of things that I have to do, but I don't have them necessarily in the order that I need to do them at. You know what I mean? And actually, yesterday I was kind of like talking to the wife, and we were talking about like this, and because there are projects and there are opportunities that are coming my way, and some of those opportunities, like some of those opportunities, have money attached to it right away. So
Mhm.
like I was telling my wife, like money, kind of right now in my life, money kind of sets the priority a little bit, right? So
Mhm.
whatever is gonna make me money, I guess faster. Like maybe I take care of that. But then there's also projects that, like, because of this situation that I'm in right now, I'm like, wow, I can actually take some time and work in these projects, you know. And these are projects that they've been on my heart for like years, right? And I know that if I work on this project, maybe the money is not gonna come right now, but it's gonna happen if I worked at it. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So and that's just on the money side, you know. Then because now I'm taking on a lot of roles that my wife was taking on, like for example, like with the kids, like I'm the house husband right now. You know what I mean?
No, no, I completely understand, and it's one of the reasons that when I started mapping out and helping people, my ideal client is somebody like you, an entrepreneur that is married with kids, because we understand each other. But sometimes another entrepreneur that is single and is hustling long days, they don't get what you go through. But so let me track back down to the to-do list. Do you have it's a digital to-do list? It's an app? It's a list in a piece of paper? How do you have your list of items? I know that you don't have it in order, and that's fine, as long as you have it in a place or an app where you have your to-do list.
I use Google Keep. I use
Google
Google
Keep.
Keep. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's very vague. It's not like, okay, so it's not like, because I want to start doing that, but I wanted to have this conversation first. But it's not like this is what I need to do today from this time to this time. No, it's kind of like, sorry, overall, this is what needs to be completed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
So,
then once that gets completed, other things get like added.
got it. The to-do lists are great, and they serve as well, not only they serve as a place where you look what you need to do, or future projects, ideas, but also as a dumping ground, creating more energy and more space in your mind for the things that actually matter. So I'm not a particular fan of telling you got to use this software or this method. The only advice I will give you on to-do list is, I'll give you a few advice. Is one, make a habit of using one place, just one place. Centralize all your to-do items, even if you don't have to do them today or tomorrow or this week. But anything that comes into your mind that you have to do, that you should do, any brain dumping that you do, you dump it in a place, one central place. So the idea is that if you have to look, you don't look in multiple places. You know where you need to look. Google Keep, I know you can use it on web browser, you can use it on your phone. So it's a great place, because sometimes you might not be in front of your computer. So that allow you to look in a central place. Make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Totally.
The second thing is that when it comes to picking and choosing your to-do items, how often are you looking that to-do list? Daily?
Pretty much I check it in the morning.
Okay.
I check it in the morning, and then I kind of like evaluate it. It's kind of like, okay, but here's the thing, like the problem, like at least with me, it's not so much that the to-do list is there or if I made it. It's just sometimes, and I don't know if this happens to you, but I'm working on something and then like just some random thought comes up, something comes up, and like this thing needs to be like taken care in my mind immediately, but it doesn't.
It happens.
Then I get
It happens to all of us. It's just like it probably happens to you also when you are looking online and you read something or you open links, and you have this feeling of you will miss out if you don't open the new browser, if you don't attack that idea right away. So going back to the to-do list and the brain dumping, one habit that you can start doing is, and the next time that idea comes, just write it down in your to-do list, in your brain dumping, whether it's Google Keep or a piece of paper. So whatever you use for brain dumping, it needs to be consistent. It's a place that every time you're gonna look your to-do list, so things that you want to do, things that you have to do, you're gonna look in just one place. So just to take it 2 steps back, centralize, if you like Google keep using it. And then anytime you have an idea that you think you have to execute, it's a brain trick, you know. So it's the entrepreneur, the missing out mentality that we all go through it. Just write it down on the keep note, and just keep pressing forward with what you were doing. And then so the whole idea is that, so would you say you plan your day before you start working? I'm assuming during the day, but first thing in the morning?
I wouldn't call planning my day. I kind of be, because you know, like you because like that's kind of like what I'm saying, like, right? So like I will go back to my job,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I had like 5 people send me like projects.
Mm-hmm.
And my email, I just read my email, and you know, whatever's on my email, open it, work on that. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to replicate that with like the same thing, because right now there's nobody telling me what to do. Right now I kind of like determine what I need to do. And it's getting to a point where things are getting piled up, like they're getting backed up, and I'm like, okay, like I need to start a system, otherwise I'm gonna go crazy and not accomplish anything.
So the email is a typical to-do list for all of us in this age. But unfortunately, if you keep looking at your email as a to-do list, you always will be doing something that other people want you to do instead of what you want to do. So in productivity, there is this all saying, and I started my productivity journey and learning about productivity and teaching years ago, is the to-do list is the to-do list that you let other people write shit on. So the email list, I'm sorry, that your email program, your email is the to-do list that you let other people write stuff on. So one thing that it was the hardest for me and for a lot of people that I teach is to not look email first thing in the morning. So
yeah, now I don't have to, because nobody's sending me like work through email anymore. Well,
but clients might be sending you replies and might be sending you requests, and sometimes it's that itch that we have to look. So what is your walk me through your typical day, how you start your day, how you plan it. Just walk me through so I can have a better understanding.
Hey, see, that's the thing. Like, I don't have a typical day right now. Like, everything is so, like, because it shifted so fast.
So yesterday, tell me what you did yesterday.
Oh no, yesterday was completely like random, because my son and my wife were home. My my kids and my wife were home, and we had to go to parent teacher conferences, and then we kind of went to a park, because that was the one day that we were together.
Got it.
So it was like so atypical, you know. And it was also weird, because back then it was just kind of like, okay, I'm working, today's my day off, like, right, let's go and have some fun. Right now it's different, right now it's like, okay, like today is work day kind of for me.
So
right?
tell me how you started your day. I know we had this in the schedule and in the calendar, so tell me what your day should, how you want your day to look like today.
Oh, my day should look like, okay, so this is okay. So okay, this is great, because like, look, today I knew I was gonna have this talk with you, right? So usually when I get up, yeah, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, baby, just close the door. So yes, so okay, so usually when I get up, I literally, like, I get up, brush my teeth, grab a coffee, and go to the computer and start working on what I have to do. Right?
And how you determine what you have to do?
That's a great question. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Let me ask you a more broad question, and I promise it will tie it in at the end. Have you sat down to write your a list of things that you want to accomplish?
So that's kind of my list. You see, that's the thing, because you're thinking that my list is like, okay, bum, 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 bum. Or are you talking like in life?
No, so exactly. So let me ask you, do you have a for lack of better words, a list of goals. Like, okay, by the end of this year, I want to have an extra $5,000 on, on retainer for clients that I manage their websites. I'm going to start working on my next book, or I'm going to select the topic for my next book. Things like that. I want to exercise every day. I want to spend time with my wife. Things that you want to do. Do you have a list of those things?
Not necessarily. Not
Okay,
necessarily.
so let me ask you: do you in Vegas or when you travel, do you use a GPS?
Yeah.
And even in Vegas, do you use a GPS?
Yeah. I always use GPS.
Okay, me too, me too. And what happened when you take a wrong turn when you're using the GPS?
Oh, the GPS lets me know.
So that's exactly your list of items that you want to accomplish. Not so this exercise, I typically do it, and I also make sure that my wife is involved, um, to make sure that what we do is in sync. But I do have my list, but there are some things that I want to make sure that I do with her. So a list of items is like your GPS. It's things that Juan wants to accomplish. It doesn't have to be next week. It doesn't have to be next month, but it could be next year. Like having a list of things that you want to accomplish soon, uh, in a little bit of time, maybe at the end of the year, and someday that is your GPS. And what that list will do is will guide you on making sure that what you do every day, every week, every month is in line with the things that you want to accomplish in life. Because it makes no sense for you to, for example, if for example, right now your focus is, let's say, adding an extra $1,000 a month, um, why going to let's say a Toastmasters meeting, an hour and 2 hours a week, how that will benefit you? So if you don't see, if things are taking action, the whole idea is, and maybe the Toastmaster is not the best example, but the whole idea is for you to start looking what you do to make sure it's in line with what you want. And the worst thing you can do is keep working long hours, and that needle is not getting closer to the destination. And it's not going, you will never arrive to the destination. You always will be, as an entrepreneur, as a hungry entrepreneur, you always be raising your goals, raising the quality of life, and your goals and your list will change. But the list is what you use to guide your daily actions. So if you don't have that list, you will never know where you want to go.
So how do you set up your list?
So I do have a, let me actually, that's a, you know what? I think I never shared this with anybody. So that's a great question. You put him on the spot right here. So I divide mine in categories. So whenever I create the list, I divide it in categories. And I'm going to search to make sure this probably, and I'm going to share the document with you. That way you can have it. So, for example, if you're writing right now, what is one thing that, you know what, let's do it live. We got time. My next call is not until 12. Let me double check that is right. And we can do it live here, and we can create a list, because I'm actually separating I'm creating my goals this week for 2018. So it's going to be now. So let me ask you, it's something that you want to do on fitness and physical health. Is something that you want to accomplish in your physical health? That's one category.
Oh, totally.
So what is that one thing that you want to accomplish with your physical health?
Just want to be healthy, man. Just literally like, just kind of, go back to being, Yeah, just kind of more active. You know what I mean?
So more
But
active.
like nothing like numbers wise. I don't.
Got it.
I don't
Got it.
like
So what being active? What is that to you? What is being active? What that means to
uh,
you?
the one thing that comes to mind is biking. I used to bike a lot.
Okay.
I like to do that more, and I just kind of become like a like a frequent, active biker. Where I'm like
So
I'm doing it like
how frequent will that make you? Will that make you happy? How frequent you think you? And in the ideal scenario, in the ideal perfect day, don't worry what you have
perfect
right now going on. What will be the perfect scenario? What will be your ideal biking
every
situation?
day.
Every day?
Every day.
How long?
That would be the ideal. Yeah, every
How
day.
long?
I mean, we're talking perfect scenario. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would like to go out every day at, I don't know, 5 a.m. and bike for like an hour.
Okay.
You know,
So from 5 to 6, you think you okay? So go ahead, write it down. Write it down. We're doing the exercise live. Write it down. So the exercise I want to bike every day from 5 to 6 from 5 to 6. I'm assuming you have a bike.
yeah.
Okay.
hmm
So why you think you haven't been able to do that?
Well, that's a good question, man. I think, and I'll be straight up with you, man. Like, lately, I think I've been putting a little bit of mental blocks in my head. You know, you put a little bit of mental blocks in my head, and there's a lot cluttered in my mind, and sometimes that kind of like stops me from doing certain things that I know that would make me happy.
Give me an example. Why you think? Why you say mental blocks? What? Give me an example of a mental block.
Lack of motivation, worriness. You know what I mean?
What you worry about?
I don't know, man. Maybe nothing. I'm just worrying about nothing.
And
like literally.
when you and I talk, I see that you're a happy guy. What you
Oh
think?
yeah. Oh yeah.
What?
No, I'm really happy, dude. Like I'm really am. I just like the thing that the problem, the one of the biggest problems is that um it's just I think the shift, the shift that I'm going through, because and I also think that I think this is normal. This is part of it. Because I was telling my wife, like, man, like we're so young and we have like so much ahead to go. Like this is just a small phase in life. But I think the shift that I'm going through has really like put a you know, put like some like blocks on me. And that's what I'm trying to fight through. You know what I mean? Uh but and also like fitness right now, and I know it's important, but right now it's like number 20 on the list.
So this is the thing. This is the thing, Juan. There are a few categories that will move your needle closer, and so there are things. So when you look at your to-do list, and we're gonna keep talking about the list of goals, but when you look at the to-do list and you mention motivation, the motivation will decrease if you keep doing things that you have to do and not things that you want to do. And that's why it's important to have a list of things that you want to achieve, so you are always pursuing something that you want and not something that the system or the clients are dictating. So it might be the things that you want might be adding an extra $5,000 a month, and that comes with clients, but that means the list actually guide you through it. But let me ask you, it's good that you said that fitness is number 20, and sometimes I push it. It's good that you know that. So one of the things that we look when we dig deeper into prioritizing is this task important and urgent? Is this task important and not urgent? Is this task not important and not urgent, and not important and urgent? And those four categories. So for example, the important and urgent, for example, is a server for a hosting client crash. It's out of my control, but it's important and it's urgent. I have to take care of that. So the idea with the important and urgent is that spend the least amount of time on those items, meaning how can I avoid them? How can, instead of putting a band-aid into the problem, how I can fix it today so it doesn't show up again, minimize them. You want to spend most of your time in important tasks. So, you know, spending time with your wife, physical fitness. There are two great examples that we neglect, but they're important. If you don't spend time with your wife and your kids, one day they're not going to be there. The only thing you're going to have is the laptop. If you don't spend time with your fitness, mental fitness, mental health, one day you'll be either sick, fat, you will not have the energy. If you don't sleep enough, those are things that we as an entrepreneur tend to neglect because the only thing we see in front of us is we have to work to produce. But if we don't take care of those things that are important, later on we will not be able to take care of the things that really matter because we neglect it. Make sense? That's just a food for thought for a second. So let's move to the next category. What about family? What is one thing when it comes to family? What is one thing that you in a perfect day, in a perfect scenario, how you will spend time with your family every day?
I mean, I feel like that's one of the areas where like we're pretty good. Like family, it's pretty good. Like as like when it comes to fun times. But I'm I also need to start adding a little bit more time with like my son's academics because my wife used to take care of that. She used to take care of all the academic stuff. So that's something that I need to take on now.
You need or you want to?
I need.
Okay.
I need to. And then I mean, my son also, because like I think because those were things that I was doing before, but now I'm having a hard time adjusting to what I'm doing now. But like my son, like he plays drums, so I need to keep him on track with that. Also, I would like to do more like more crafts, and games with the family. Even though we do a lot of that, but I would like to have more quality.
Let me ask you, when you mean quality, so let me get back to the assignment. Do you like doing homework with your kids?
I guess I could say I enjoy it. Yeah.
Do you, so well, that's why I asked you if you wanted to do it, you needed to do it, because one thing that I do some things here in the house and that I want to do, that I love doing, like cooking. I don't do it as often as I used to or as I want to, but there are some things that I need to do to make sure that that I help my wife, and when she gets here, she has enough time so we can spend it together. So in family time, what about vacations? Mini vacations, drive around town, Mount Charleston, staying in the cabins over there, things like that. Do you do that often?
I used to. Used to, not anymore because things have changed a little. So we're trying to be a little bit more careful, money wise, and also because the wife, right, she's working, so now things changed. But like I don't.
So just for you to think, when you create your list, think of the things that you would like to do with the family, even if they are not daily. But for example, for me, I would love to do a mini vacation at least every 3 months and one big vacation every year with the family. So mini vacations, it will be, we're going for a weekend and we stay in a hotel and we just, do something different. And not something that I added this year, and because my kids are a little bit older, is that start going out on dates with my wife without the kids more often.
Mm-hmm.
Before, we just came from England. We didn't feel comfortable leaving the kids over there with anybody. Now we're blessed that we have somebody we can trust, and maybe every so often we pay the person. So that's something that I want to do. The other category that I want you to look at is finance, because finance is key, not only for the business, to avoid marital problems, to make sure we pay the bills. So what are things that finance wise do you want to have so I'm not asking you to say it out loud, but I want you to write it down. Is, do you want to have X amount in savings? By when? Do you want to be making X amount on with clients per month because that's what you want? Or do you need minimum? The need do you need to cover the finances, predictable income? Are you looking for affiliate income? How that finance number will play it out for everybody is different. But if you don't write it down, then again, you will not know. You will always keep doing things, but maybe those actions are not going to get you closer to that number every month. Make sense?
Yeah,
okay.
And that's something that I have done, though. I have done some financial goals.
The next one is, I'm going to give you two more, and then we move to prioritizing. So next one is mental health. What you do to unplug and relax and make sure that you stay sane. Some people meditate, some people drink, some people just read books, some people just sit down and look at the stars. So this is the one that is for you, for Juan, that to make sure that you keep the sane, that you're sane, your sanity. And then the other one, I think, is a lot of people and a lot of productivity experts neglect is friendships, especially when it comes to entrepreneur. Friendships can be a huge impact in my life. So one thing that I've been doing since I moved to Florida is I'm being more conscious of associating myself with positive people, action takers. Mm-hmm. So when my mom used to tell me, "Dime con quién andas y te diré quién eres."
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And but I never listened to her because maybe it came from mom. Mommy did, mommy used to tell me, if you hang out with liars, you're gonna become a liar. If you hang out with thieves, you're gonna start robbing people because that's or you're gonna start seeing that behavior more acceptable. And I growing up, I didn't listen, but when I was in the States and I hired my first mentor, he asked me a similar question. He said, "Who are the 5 people you surround yourself more often?" And because you are the average of those people. So if you want to, I can bet you $100 that if you start hanging around with more fit people that go to the gym or people that eat healthy, eventually, you start hanging out with them this week, you might not change that behavior this week, but by next week and the week after, you're going to start, you're going to eat that salad. You're going to say, yeah, let's go and bike, or let's go to the gym. If you spend a lot of time with wealthy people, your relationship with money will change. Your income will start increasing. It happened to me. And one of the things that we fail as entrepreneurs is we always think about habits. I'm going to exercise. I am not going to get distracted. I am going to make that sale. But 9 times out of 10, we forget about the friendship. Oh, Juan is so nice. You know what? But maybe he's not the right person. You can control the amount of time you spend next to Juan and spend more time with other people that actually will make a big impact in your life. So I think productivity experts in the past have failed to address this area that is important. And I'm not saying dump all your friends. I did that, and at one point I was lonely. I cut ties with everybody. Mm-hmm. But then it gave me room to find new and better friends. Sometimes the ones we have are not the best ones for us. And it makes sense what I'm telling you?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so these areas is your list. And basically, the whole idea is that whenever you create and you plan your day, you base your actions, things that you want to do, and the other things become secondary. So have you ever planned your week?
I used to. I used to plan my week before. Um, right now, I am not. I do have an idea because that's the problem. Like that's the problem. Like I'm so unstructured right now because, like I said, like everything is like, dude, like I could tell you 10 things that I'm doing right now, and maybe that's part of the problem. But that's kind of like what I need to figure out, like prioritize the structure. Because also another problem was that I didn't know what was he gonna do. You know what I mean? I had some things that pretty much were cooked. Like that's the thing. Like I had projects that were like ready to go, ready. Whether it was a job or a gig, like a freelance gig,
Got it.
cooked. Like, and I was like, okay, so this is what I'm doing next week. This is what I'm gonna do for the rest of the year. This is what I'm be doing from now on. Things were like ready to go, and then a lot of those things, if not all of them, fell through. So then I'm like, okay, so now I need to like sit back, and that's where I am. That's exactly where I am right now. So I don't see it like as a lack of planning or lack of, it's just kind of like, like right now, like this is where I need to start planning. You know what I mean? Um, but so yeah, so like that's why I haven't planned my week, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm like, I need to, okay, how I need to start, like, so what you're saying is true. Like, I have to set up like these grand goals, and then start breaking it down into like weekly, daily. You know what I mean?
And the whole idea, it's not. So I'm going to copy a phrase that another friend told me, is that structure equals freedom. So I wasn't a fan of living by the calendar, but whenever I start planning, I had the freedom to pick and choose, and also had the freedom to do other things that I wanted to do. So let's assume that your list of the things that you're writing right now is the things that you want to accomplish in 2018. So you have a month, right? And you want to get started now because you don't want to start in December 31st. So the structure will be, let's plan this week. Let's plan the week after. How, walk me through when you said, I used to plan, how you used to plan, and then a follow-up question is why you don't plan anymore.
Okay, I used to plan because I used to plan around my job. I
Okay.
used to plan around my day. You know what I mean? So I
Okay.
used to plan things around my week. So I knew exactly how my week was gonna look. So
Uh-huh.
I used to do things around, right? So
And
then I stopped planning because that was over. And then I was like, okay, I need to wait for some of these other situations to happen. And once these situations happen, then I can plan around those situations. You know what I mean?
so let me
And
ask you,
and then
if you were going to plan your week, how would you plan it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Would you use a calendar?
Yeah, but like that's the thing. Like I have like there's so many variables, and there's also like because that's the problem, and like I need to figure out, and like so yesterday I was talking to the wife. I was just like, um, I need to, because prioritize, right? Like I said, I have some things that like if I work on them right now, I will most likely make money like on the shorter term. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There are some things that if I work on them right now, I will probably see the money on the long term, right? And there are things that I'm doing because maybe I just like to do them, and
Mhm.
maybe there's a possibility of making money there. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of, I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but I am kind of planning certain things based on money because that's an area that I need to fill. There's a hole that I
Okay.
need to fill.
So, and there's nothing wrong with that. Money can be a good driver, a positive driver. So, are your actions. So the one thing that if you're going to start planning and making sure, giving yourself some structure, what, make sure that those things that you do are in line with, they give you some money in return, whether it's making a daily offer or doing a product review with an affiliate link, whatever it is that you're doing to make sure that it's moving you closer to that number that you want to fulfill. So let's say that you were going to, let's assume that you have a list based on what the things that you wrote on that piece of paper. Let's plan your week. Let's plan your week. Let's give you some structure. Let's see if we can make that happen. What calendar you use?
As a calendar, I use Google Calendar.
Got it. So open it.
Yeah, I have it
open. You have it open?
Mm-hmm.
So you have it, put it on the weekly layout.
Let's see. Okay.
Do you have in your calendar everything that you want to do or you have to do?
No, not this week.
Okay. So do you drop off the kids and you pick them up from school?
Yeah.
Do you have to?
Not necessarily every day, but
do you? Okay, but my question is, do you have to go to a bus stop? Do you have to, or they come to the house, or you go to the school?
No, they have to get picked up.
So if you this week, when you're gonna pick them up?
I don't know.
So
it's not.
I'll tell you right now. I can share my calendar right now, and let me share. Let me see here. So I'm gonna share I'm gonna share. Give me a second here. I'm gonna share yesterday, so you can see, and this idea of what I'm talking about. Let me share the screen. So here is my day. So we start drop off the kids in the morning. I know that for a fact that I can't schedule anything this day. Then between here and there, so in theory, I'm all the way to here. So because one kid leaves at 7:15, the other one leaves at 8:08. Then I had sent message to personal Facebook contacts. That for me was to follow up with clients, to close more sales, etc. Promote an event that I have, and I did that for 30 minutes. Promote a video that I have. I'm finishing my master's, so I put 2 hours of studying here. Then I send a proposal to this person, follow up with this person, upload a video for a client, record a video, which I did yesterday, reach out to another client, did an event, and then my kids were instructed yesterday to walk to the house, and I left the doors open so they didn't make any noise. And then I did content planning, and this is personal time that I had on blog. So we finished time the 7 to 9, and then I planned my next day for today. But it gave me a structure to make sure that, and today is the same. I have this time block.
So what time so when do you do? Because that's cool. That's something that I don't do, and that's something that I need to do. So when do you do that?
Go ahead.
Do you do that this morning?
No. So I plan my days on Sunday.
On Sunday, okay.
I plan my days on Sunday, and it took me a while to get used to that, but I found that for me it's easier, whether we're watching TV or the kids like to watch TV. I'm not I'm a TV. I like TV, but I know that TV is not productive, so I try to, whenever I'm there, I try to do something, whether it's email or doing some planning. So on Sundays, I go through this program, and I'm going to share a link with you with that one. I actually publish a template that I use. Weekly, let's see. I'm going to share that with you. See, weekly review. And let me sure if you can see it here in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to share here in the comments here the weekly review, and that's the framework that I use, that I go to plan my day. Basically, I look, and it's also a video there. I block time in my calendar for the things that I want to do. So I make sure that if I want to concentrate on making sales, based on the things that I know, based on the things that I know, these are the actions that I gotta take. And for me, what works best is following up with clients and making sure that, you know, the people that have expressed interest, whether it's on Facebook or LinkedIn, I'm all in constant communication. Pay clients, a lot of people forget about their pay clients, so I always block time to follow up with clients, and I have a CRM, so I just sort by last contact and I reach out. But that's what works for me, and that also kept my pipeline full and my income steady. I never had a problem. But for you, might be slightly different. So I do weekly planning, and you might be afraid of blocking, or you think it might be awkward to block your whole day. But the whole idea, Juan, is that you block the day, that you create time slots for the things that you want to do and you have to do. So you might have 2 hours of so whenever you sit down, and you don't have to wait until Sunday, you can start today. So let's say that you mentioned this opportunity that will make immediate income. How, you know, what is a reasonable amount of time that you can work today and tomorrow, and by blocking that time, you know that time is dedicated for that. And then you have to record a video, you have to edit it, you have to upload, and you have to promote it. So how long that normally takes? So when do you normally record it? And if you find yourself that, you know, for example, I might not have an hour tomorrow, so guess what? I'm going to do a live stream, because I'm not going to let that video disappear. But also the calendar will give you an idea, will give you a quick look, a glance, to make sure whenever you do a weekly review, if you look at the past week, if you put effort in the areas that you wanted to put effort, and give you a chance for you to internally readjust what you did last week to make sure that this week is better, and you're spending more the times in the areas that you want to spend time. But if you don't see it, you will never change that habit. And I can tell you, you know, you got to do X, Y, Z, but it has to be an internal change, a lifestyle change. And another thing that by using the calendar, and actually I released I recorded a video yesterday, but I haven't uploaded, but I'll give you the insight is that we tend to, as entrepreneurs, we tend to overload our to-do list, and the things that we want to do, we feel overwhelmed without realizing it. We cause unnecessary stress. So assuming that your typical task, so let's say, what is your perfect day? How long you want to work, from what time to what time?
Okay, a perfect day. I really don't care about the time. I do want to get certain things accomplished. So right now I'm working on you see, that's a tricky question, but let's say, without going on a specific, I would like to work like maybe from 6 to, even if it's from 6 to 1, but those hours are like, okay, wow, I did X amount of work, you know what I mean? Like productive. I accomplished certain things. Now, if I have to work from 6 to 6 p.m. and I do get accomplished all the things that I need to accomplish, like that's fine, you know what I mean?
Let me ask you, at what time you normally go to bed?
I'm trying to go to bed at 9:30, 10.
Okay. So let's look at this more objectively. and that's the whole reason why you want to start using the calendar to plan your days. If you're going to run bike from 5 to 6, you can't start work at 6. So let's say that starting tomorrow, you're going to jump in the bike and you're going to run from 5 to 6. At what time you have to get up?
Like 5:45. Literally,
Well,
I just can just.
no, but you say you wanted to run a bike an hour from 5 to 6.
Yeah.
So how are you going to get up at 5:45?
Yeah, just get up and take the bike and leave.
You said 4:45 or 5:45?
4:45.
4:45.
And you know what
So
I mean? Yeah, go ahead.
so you, let's assume that you're at the house by 6 a.m. sharp. You're going to, what will you do as soon as you arrive? What will you do? Take a shower, eat, or you're going to take the kids to school, or what was the plan?
No, I'll probably just I think the wife's still gonna take get the kids ready.
Okay.
But I think it would be more of let's say I get home at 6. Um, just get a coffee. Like relax for like a little bit, maybe 30 minutes.
Okay. And then shower and things like that.
No, I wouldn't shower yet. I'll probably shower later.
Okay. So if you do that, that means that you really will start working or doing something at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
So 6:30 in the morning. So let's say that
So let me tell you what I need to do right now. So I'm setting up 2 websites right now, right? Mm-hmm. And so once those websites are set up, like I'll move on to the next thing. Because right now, like I'm just working on this tedious part of because we can go like really in depth because I think that's part of the bigger problem, which is I have projects that like I really want to get into this project and I need to set them up, right? Mm-hmm. Set them up. So when I take, hold on. Come on in. Bye, baby. I love you. Actually, give me a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm so sorry about that. Man, this is live and we're just
no, and that's what it's exactly what will happen in your day. Things will come up. Yeah. And the whole idea is, so whenever you have distractions, how quickly can you get, because some distractions you can't avoid them, and how quickly can you get back on track? But yeah, totally. At the same time, it would be there are some other distractions that you have to gain control and say no more. Mm-hmm. And so the ones that you have control is the ones that you need to start adjusting now, making adjustment. But there are some the distraction you can't avoid.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm losing you.
You losing me?
There we go.
Okay.
I was losing you for a minute.
Yeah, I was look. I was looking at the comments, and this guy, he put a negative, a thumbs down, a dislike, and he's like, "Why you're using fake subs, bro?" I'm like, "What he's talking about?"
What did he say?
Why you're using fake subs, bro? I'm like, what the heck he's talking about? It's like fake subs. He left comments like that. Just trolls, man. Just trolls.
Yeah, dude, I get those in my channel all the time. Yeah. Tell them they can.
So, for example, do you blog? Are you working a whole day in this one website, or are you working just a few hours today and a few hours tomorrow? What will be your ideal?
Okay, so so like let's talk about ideal day. Okay, so ideal, because there's difference, but this is an ideal home day because some days Oh man, I'm losing you again. Are you there,
Yeah, I'm here.
Angel?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
There you go. Are you there?
Yes, yes.
Is it my internet?
Maybe, but I
Is
don't
it
have
your
anything
internet?
running in the background. Let me close these windows and
Oh
see what
man, I'm
happens.
losing you. Completely losing you.
Hold on, hold on,
You
hold
there?
on. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Wait, wait. I'm here. Hold on.
Mm.
Yeah. Give me a second.
Hello.
Hold on. Give me a second. Let me close the windows.
Okay, okay, okay.
I'm closing the windows just to make sure. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a little bit better now.
Okay. So your ideal day.
Okay, so my ideal home day, because some days I have to go out and do things, because
Mhm,
that's also part of it. I need to set up the days that I'm in the house and I'm
mhm,
able to work. So some days I need to be out and maybe getting clients, doing other things, and I need to make sure that like I'm not gonna be like thinking about the projects that I have to do. You know what I mean?
mhm.
But okay, so just to be a little bit vague, so like I would like to, you know, like you said, like maybe a little bit of fitness, it could be 30 minutes to start, doesn't have to
You
be an
don't
hour,
have to.
whatever.
But you don't have to. I just shared the categories how I structure. So instead of looking,
Yeah.
oh, what I need to do to earn $5,000, so I look, what? How can I improve my family time? How can I improve
Mhm.
my fitness? How can I improve? So how can I improve my physical fitness? How can I improve my mental fitness? How can I improve my finances? And then I start making sure that my to do list is in line with those goals.
Yeah, totally. So like, let's just say that, yeah, I do I would like to take like at least even if it's like a quick stroll, right? I don't care, but like, and I actually, you know what? The first thing I like to do, I like to edit at the early in the morning. I want to get that out of the way. I have some videos backed up, and I would like to start editing, right?
So if you're gonna start editing, let's say that you start editing, so you want to do that first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I want to edit one video and get it out of my system.
How long that edit will last?
If I if I discipline myself, a good hour.
So do you edit videos every day?
I'm gonna start to, yeah.
Okay, so let's
Yeah,
say
because that's gonna be part of my business. So
so
definitely, yeah.
so let's say that you edit from 6:30 to 8:30. No, from 6:30 to 7:30, huh?
Let's say from 6:30 to 8,
To
just
8.
to kind of, yeah.
Okay, because it's gonna be maybe for your client, for your YouTube channel,
Yeah,
and
it's
what will be.
probably for my business. That's because that's the thing. I have my freelance, because
Yep.
that's what I'm telling you. I have my freelance, but then I have a business that I've been working on for a little bit, and I want to actually pick it up and fire it up, because I think that's a way that I'm gonna be able to like have some substantial income through that business. So whatever. So okay. So after that edit, so I need to work on some websites. So right now I have my freelance website. That once the website is set up, I don't have to worry about that anymore. It's kind of like it's just a showcase.
But let me ask you. Let me ask you. And this is a good question. This is a good thing that you mentioned that. Do you truly know? Do you truly believe that? Let me ask you. Let me ask you. What you want? Why you want to finish your website?
Why? Because I
Yeah.
want to get clients.
So
I want to sell through
what
websites.
you're telling me is that your website, as soon as you finish it, it will be the magic one, the magic thing that you need to gain the next client.
No, but pretty much 100% of the clients that I talk to, they want to see a website. And so I kind of want to have that also ready. So I know it's not like the end to all means,
Uh huh.
but I need to finish the website so I can go into marketing or into other things. Go to meetups, go to
Got it.
places. It's kind of like the business card. Like I needed a business card. Now I have the business card. So I needed a website, and now I kind of like I need to have the website ready,
Got it.
so it's part of my system.
So the reason I ask you that question is because sometimes we believe that this we put enough effort in this time, or we put enough time in this one, and it's going to get us closer to the goal. So whenever you look at your list, and I know you say you need to finish the website, but what I'm getting is something else that you could be doing that will make a bigger difference in your day, in your income today and tomorrow than the website task. I know that website needs to get done.
No, I
The
mean,
website needs to get done. What about, let me play devil's advocate real quick. So let's say that you have a list of people that are interested. Do you think what will make a bigger impact? Following up with those people for an hour or working on your website for an hour?
I think the website. I
Okay.
think the website, because let's say that I do talk to a client and they're like, "Oh, yeah, sure. Like, yeah, I would like to do. I need a website. I need something. Can I see some of your?" I mean, I can send them links.
So
100%. Like I just kind of be like, because a lot of people's like, yeah, of course, go to my website. Here's the link. Here's all my work that I have, laid out. And then they're like, oh, okay, this is kind of what I need. Boom, you know what I mean? But I know it's not the number one thing, but and I think that's why I want to get it out of my system, because I know it's not the number one thing. I just want to complete it, and it's there.
okay. So actually, I just started changing my own website and I haven't finished it. And it used to bug me, like I have to work on it. But for me, I realized that made no difference. Today, a website for me, is unless I'm actually selling a product, that's the only page that I care about.
Yeah.
The homepage right now, whenever I have time and I work at it, nobody have asked me for my website. So for me, that would not be a top priority, but for you, you want to finish.
So I always get asked for portfolio stuff. So
so let me ask you, but that's not something that you're going to work every day. That's something that you work today, maybe tomorrow. Okay, so so let's say that you are you going to work on your website today?
Yeah.
And how many hours do you think you're going to work on the website?
Let's just say, so are we planning today, or are we planning like the ideal day?
Well, if you're gonna, well, make so the idea, the both. The short answer is both. The short answer is to quick. So for you not to waste your time today with me just talking and giving you some information, but also to make sure that if you get some information that works, then you start taking action. So let's say that we finish at noon and you're going to have lunch. Well, for you, it's going to be, for me, it's going to be at noon. But yeah, for me, I have a call in about 13 minutes. So if we're going to finish, then the next, let's say 2-3 hours, are you going to work on your website?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
So,
yeah, I want to get it done today.
So if you're going to get it done today, so are you going to press all the way until you get it done today, or you're going to do something? You have to do something else today.
I want to get it done, man. I do have a million things to do today.
So, but if that's your number one thing, then don't do anything else today. Just concentrate on that task. If you finish,
and that's what I was telling like the wife. It's just like, okay, I need to kind of like, because that's one of the things, man. As soon as this is done, like I don't have to worry about it anymore. Now I do have some client work. So I need to like put that in there too, I mean, I'm waiting on some like assets and stuff, because you know how that goes. You have a client and you're waiting.
That's what I was getting. So that's what I was getting. There might be something else that will make a bigger impact in your day than the website. So if you're waiting for client assets, so again, you're letting the to-do list then dictate when you're going to work. So, and as a freelancer, if you get into that habit, you always will be interrupting your flow because somebody else gave you instructions on what to do. So how I fix that as a freelancer web designer, I sent a list and I said, as soon as you give me the response, I will put it on my calendar. I will let you know when I'm going to work on it, but I block the time after they send me. So if they send me assets today, I'm not going to work on that today or tomorrow, only if I have something on my calendar that I need to do. I will keep pushing it until I block time. Maybe I can rearrange time, but the updates for that client, I will block time for that. I will not interrupt what I'm doing to do what they want. If not, you're gonna get into that habit, and you will never move that needle forward to get to the end line.
Yeah, totally. I 100% agree with you, man.
So let's say that you do, if you finish early, then you work on something else, but then put all your attention on the website today. So let's move to the ideal day. So let's say by 8 o'clock you finish editing. What will be the next thing that you would like to do?
All right. So on the ideal day,
yes,
I am running 2 businesses. I am running my business, and I'm helping someone else's. I'm helping run someone else's business.
Okay.
Right? So my ideal day, this website will be 100% set up, and we just got to do some marketing and easy maintain. So each one of those could be like maybe 4 hours for both.
So okay. So let's so from 8 to 9. What task can you do that helps you in one business?
Oh, dude, marketing.
So marketing. So let's say that you do from 8 to 9 marketing.
Yeah, and creating assets. I'm creating assets for both of these businesses. One, it's like we're doing a lot of clothing stuff right now. So creating assets for that clothing brand. And the other one will be, we're doing a lot of educational and kids stuff, and just creating, just sitting down, open up Illustrator, and just going nuts.
So let me ask you, do you 1 hour is enough for business number 1, or you need more than 1 hour first?
No, I said like 2 hours each.
So 2 hours each. So you say that business number 1 from 8 to 10, but it's all marketing, or is 1 hour marketing and 1 hour something else, or 30 minutes, or 30 minutes social media, 30 minutes email marketing, and 30 minutes.
When I say marketing, I mean like I'm creating the marketing assets.
So it's creative work.
Yeah. So
it's not social media posts. It's not okay. So it's creative marketing, creative.
Unless they need creative, because someone else is going to do the marketing.
Got it.
On one of the businesses, I'm just doing the creative work, and I'm just creating a lot of graphics.
So this number 1, and in business number 2. So business number 1 from 8 to 10, creative marketing creations, and from 10 to 12 in business number 2. What would you be doing?
Something very similar, a lot of creative assets, but I do have to do the marketing. But let's just not put the marketing in there. Let's just kind of do like a lot of creative assets, because that's part of the challenge too that I'm going towards to. You know what I mean?
So at what time you would like to eat lunch every day?
Doesn't matter. At 12.
12. So you have from 12 to 1 lunch.
Yeah.
And from 1 to 2, what would like to be doing?
Man, I'll go back right to it. Maybe, because you know what? Let's even I could even say it could be like 4 hours each.
So let me ask you this. Let's say the first half of the day. So without looking at the second half, the first half of the day, are these goals or these things that you're doing are in line with the list of things that you want to achieve?
Yeah, totally.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay. So is anything else that you're missing from here that you think that you have to do in your own business?
I mean, I'm probably on an ideal day, I have to block time for client work. Totally, 100%.
So what I do when I do my weekly plan, I do have a list of projects, mine and clients, pending projects. That's what I call it. And whenever I plan a minimum an hour a day on a pending project. So what I do on Sundays, I put, instead of writing pending project, I put a specific project that I'm going to be working. So I might be updating for an hour the church website, or I might be working on my own website, or I will be editing my own book, but a pending project every day so I can keep moving. So that to-do list gets smaller with time instead of getting bigger. But that's something that I do. And you kind of touch on that. You said, I need to work on client projects. So those will be expanding projects.
Yeah, totally. And those are very important because those are paying the bills, you know?
So so instead of, so how let's say if you're going to work on a client project today, how long you think is, but today you're working on your website, but on the ideal day, what,
So
how long you will be working on a client project?
Well, so let's say I have a project, right? I'm waiting on some assets. I'm waiting on, you know, we're also gonna have a call. As soon as they give me that call, I'm gonna try to do it in a one day, you know, just 6 hours, whatever, you know what I mean? And get it out as fast as I can because I don't wanna sit on it too much, you know. I don't wanna be sitting on things too much.
So, and that's what I was getting with that. I think for you, whenever you start planning your week, you also gonna have to change a little bit the way you let other people dictate your day. So that client's gonna call. It's gonna say, "Oh, but we're gonna talk tomorrow," and tomorrow your day is full. And if you say yes, then you're gonna get into that habit, and you will keep saying yes to other things that are, you think that are important. But also when it comes to freelancing and when it comes to business, it's all about positioning. So if you eventually you're going to demand higher payments or a better positioning, they're going to do what you ask them to do. Period. So let's say, you know, okay, I can't tomorrow, but I can on Thursday, and I have an hour from 11:30 to 12:30. And if you can, then next week, tell me what day so I can block it in my calendar. Simple.
Yeah.
It's a reframe, and it's hard because you want to close that and you want that income. But if you don't change that mindset of letting other people dictate your day, you always will be running on somebody else's schedule, always.
Totally.
And you will be feeling like you're feeling today, that you have no structure because they are dictating your day. If they are dictating your day and you're waiting for them to tell you what to do, you will never have a structure. Make sense?
Totally.
So an exercise for you will be, and it's going to take time, and we can do a private follow-up later. It will be, look at your calendar for 15 minutes today and see what you can plug there that it will get you closer. So right now, you know, we plan half of the day, but what are other things you could do? And that doesn't mean that every day you're going to be doing the same thing. But, you know, maybe you have to meet a client, like you say, you have to drive downtown. So, you know, okay, I'm blocking 2 hours to drive downtown because of traffic. I'm meeting this person, or I have a doctor's appointment that goes in the calendar, and I know I can't do my video editing in that time. Yeah, so I'm going to do it in a different time.
And I know things kind of shift, you know, and like, I know, like, if we're talking like, well, to be honest, like on an ideal day, I will have no clients. Like that's it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'll be working only on the projects that I want to work at, you know, and making money through those. Like that's the ideal project. Like that's the ideal, you know, I don't dream of being a freelancer. Like this is not like what I want to do at all. Right. So, you know, I am kind of just trying to, because these things will come. And like, I like what you're saying, you know, like I accommodate these things into my calendar instead of letting them tell me like, oh, I need this by this time, I need this ASAP. So I agree with that.
Okay, so I use there are tools. So I would say exercise, plan, do your best to, you know, take 15 minutes before you move to the next project today, and see if you can plan as much as you can in 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. Yeah,
and
I like
then
that.
And next week, when you do your review, you will see some things that, okay, I should not have done this, or, you know, you notice that you went to the store. For example, you know, and I appreciate all the time. For example, you notice that you went to the store to buy toilet paper. Do you really need to go to the store? You need toilet paper. You don't need to go to the store. The toilet paper can come to you. So you're gonna start seeing some things that you're gonna be like, I didn't have enough time to do these. And by default, we entrepreneurs say, okay, we're gonna work longer. So instead of looking what we did during the day, to readjust those things that are time wasters. So, like going to the store, or, uh, things that you do because you need them, but you don't have to do them. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That weekly review, when you see everything on a glance, and the weekly, that's why I said click on the weekly layout. You will see what you did, what you didn't accomplish, so you can move it to the next week. You also will see if you had an appointment with Angel. Okay, let me schedule 5 minutes in the calendar to send a follow-up message to Angel, to make sure, and I record a video message and I say, hey Juan, thank you for being in the webinar with me, I appreciate blah blah. But and all those tasks that you do, that help moving that needle forward to each of those categories that you're talking about on the
totally.
But start that, my friend. Start with structuring that. You the first thing you said, it was lack of motivation. You needed to learn how to prioritize. So and lack of structure, but priority will come based. You will get better at prioritizing what you have to do with the next 2-3 weeks. So priorities is knowing what you want, and if what you have to do in your to-do list, it gets you closer to that. If you start looking at your to-do list that way, and instead of just, okay, I'm going to do the next thing in my to-do list, you will move the needle closer to the goal. But we can talk about priority privately later, after you start structuring your day. So my exercise will be for you today will be create your ideal day, your ideal week in your calendar, plan for success, plan how your day you want it to be. It might change. Something will come up, and that's okay. But you saw that what you didn't accomplish, and you can move it for later. But it's like a to-do list. You look at your calendar. Okay, I know I need to be here at this time. I know I need to be in my car because I gotta drive and meet somebody in Summerlin. I know I gotta do X, Y, Z, and that's a little bit of structure and freedom. You don't have to think what you have to do and when you have to do it or where you have to be. And then when you do your review, you see those actions. Maybe you fail to block time to send an email to your email list. Maybe you fail to do some social media posts, and that's what you need to work. Maybe you need to learn copywriting, and you got to block time on learning. Maybe you want to work more on LinkedIn, so next week you put more time on LinkedIn. So everything is going to change, like you and I were talking about, but you create that day. And you need to create the discipline that do whatever you can to stick to that day unless something else happens. And if something else happens, is what we talked about is this important and urgent? Like the tire blew, my kid got in an accident, my kid broke the wrist. Those things that you can't avoid, but you have to stop what you're doing to take care of those. So, but in that framework, in that scenario, how can you avoid it?
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen again. And then put more attention into the important and not urgent, because those are the things that you schedule, that you dictate that they're important because they're going to move the needle closer to the goal. And then the not important and not urgent, and the non-important and urgent, then you decide. So the ones that are not important, not urgent, stop doing them at all, period. And then the other ones, you start looking at things that you maybe can delegate or automate. I suggest people to start automating before delegating. And so specifically freelancers like when we start getting into a team, we need to start documenting what we do first before we hire another person, so to avoid micromanaging. From everything we talked about, what you think is going to help you the best?
The calendar.
Totally. The calendar?
100%. 100%, because it's something I don't do, bro. And I think that's the main takeaway today. Is like I need to start putting things on a calendar, because like what you're saying, like gives you like a grand. and I can actually kind of do that. Like I think if I to tell myself, because even the client stuff, even that I can kind of block it, you know. But I if I block everything and I take a look back, I'm like, okay, this is what my week looks like. I can actually like accommodate things because even the kids, I can kind of like work that out in a way where my mom helps me, or like for example, like my mom's here and she's gonna help me, so that way I can focus 100% on other things. There's things in the house. There's things with the kids. There's things I need to go out there. You know, I can't stay in the house working. It's just not like I need to go out there, and I have friends. I have people like, yo, let's go, let's do this, let's go shoot, let's go talk to these people, let's go to this meetup. So I need to block all these things out, and I think that's the main man. The main thing is like, yeah, and I agree with you. I need to do that calendar. I need to put it, organize it, and kind of like structure the week how I think it should be.
Let me give you a pro tip that a lot of people that I help with, they don't use. So typically most people, and we can end it here. Most people go and write their calendar appointment, and that's the extent of it. So they look, they block time, blah. But one pro tip, especially if you're using the Google Calendar, is to adjust the notifications when you want Google Calendar to let you know that the next thing is coming. So for example, you have a doctor appointment. Do you need some forms? So I will write the Google Doc to remind me the night before to make sure I have everything I need to do, and send me a text message as well. So, but if I know I'm working here on the computer, maybe I need I don't use the default notification, so I adjust the notification based on the appointment. Meaning, if I'm here and I know I got a call, I just got the notification that I have a call in 4 minutes. I don't need an email. I don't need another SMS. It could be so simple notification 5 minutes before that it blocks. But adjusting those notifications based on the calendar. My mom's birthday, everything is on the calendar. I need to mail something. So my first notification, Google gives you 4. My first notification is 2 weeks out. That's enough time to go and buy a gift and mail it. But if I'm lazy and I don't do it, then the second notification goes out a week before. So you adjust that, use technology in your favor. Let the notifications remind you what you have to do. And also Google Calendar has a daily agenda that emails you every morning the appointments for that day. So if you become into the habit of, if it's hard to break the habit of looking the emails while you're in bed or first thing in the morning, then as soon as you see that, you can, I got to do this at 8 o'clock, I got to get going. And that's another visual cue, a reminder that you need to get going. Use the technology in your favor. Adjust those notifications to let you know when you're going to be and where you have to be.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good, man. I'll let you go. I know you're busy.
Last question. What is one thing that we didn't cover that you believe you still need help with?
Oh, a million things. There's a million things.
Well, related to the idea of planning, the getting structure to, getting motivated in this subject.
Well, okay, let me think of one. I mean, I guess one of the biggest problems that I have is prioritizing my projects, because I think that's part of the bigger problem is like I have too many projects that I need to list them up to like number 1 to number 20. So
personal projects or client projects?
Personal projects mainly.
So one thing, and we can talk about that later, but one thing that it used to help me big time, right now I have a big list, but whenever I started, things that I want to develop, products, I rack and stack them based on the product that it will take me the least amount of time to execute, the product that it will cost the least amount of money to execute, and the product that I had to learn the least. So, and I will rack and stack them based on that. And then once there, if I was on a growth, if I needed to take action, then I started knocking down the project based on which one will take me the least amount of time to finish, which one will take the least amount of time to learn or least amount of money. And then I start putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and boom. Then I prioritize, because the easiest one might not make the biggest sense, but if you start knocking down some easy ones, it gives you motivation to keep pressing forward to the next ones.
Totally.
Juan, hopefully this helps, and this session helped, and appreciate your questions and being so open. Definitely, the weekly planning, it helps me, has helped me big time. Hopefully it helps you the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Send me a private message if you get stuck, or if you want to talk in private. You got my number. Have a great day, my friend, and
next week, man.
Next week we gotta exchange that. We gotta talk about the what topic, but we talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about something crazy next week.
Hey, do you have the wireless Rode mics?
No, I saw that on your Instagram. That looks nice.
We can talk about microphones if you want next time.
This is my wireless microphone.
I love that wireless, but we talk about it later. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
All right, man. Take care.
Have a great day.
Okay, you too.